Maisa, the famous kasha, holding Zois Chanukah, Maitzoi Zois Chanukah. We can still talk a little bit about Chanukah. The famous kasha that the B'Sioysa brought up is, why is Chanukah 8 days? Chanukah should really only be 7 days. Reason being is that the first night was not a ness. The first night there was oil, there was enough oil for one night. So it comes out, there was only a miracle to make 7 days. Only to make 7 days. Shanking the first day there was no ness. This is a famous kasha of the Beis Yosef. And the Beis Yosef offers on the 3 answers. And after the Beis Yosef, many achronim deal with this question, and each one offers his answer. I even saw a sefer called Ner Lameya with 100 answers to this question. Collection of 100 answers. So we're not going to go through 100 answers. We'll go through a few answers of the main discussion on this, the main paskim on this issue. Let's take a look first at what the Beis Yosef says. Beis Yosef says, "V'ikol l'meidak," the first piece. Lama, we can medayik. Lama kavu shmaina yamim. Why did Chanukah 8 days? Kivan shemen shebepach. Hayyibay kedilahadek lailachas. There was enough oil in the pach in the jug for one night. Nimsish leinas hanes al shiva leilis. It's only for 7 nights. Rishleimer, he gives one answer. Shechilko shemen shebepach l'shmeina chalakim. The oil in the jug was they divided into 8 parts. And every night they only put in 1/8 into the menorah. And it would light the whole night till the morning. Menimsa will come out. So the first answer is they divided up into 8 parts, and the nest was a quality nest. That 1/8, which should only last 1/8 of each night, lasted for a whole night. So therefore there was a nest really every day. Sisataka answers that.
And why did they divide it to 8?
Oh, Shailas B'chla, why l'chatchila did they rely? Well, how were they so sure there was going to be a nest? Even if they knew that they thought there's going to be a nest, that's such a nest, such a matziv that they felt that a must be Hashem's going to make for us a nest. Because look how many nisim are happening to us. Hashem, at a time where Hashem, this chavivus for Klal Yisrael was shown in a begilui, in a revealed way. However, we know there's a klal ein soim chal nes. Chazal tell us you're not allowed to rely on a nes. It's actually a din in Shulchan Aruch. You're not supposed to rely on a nes. So they should have just done what they could have done. Do the first night. The rest were oynis. We can't, and that's it. What should we do?
But they don't have halacha. They have halacha if the tzibur want to make a mitzvah and it's not pure like this one, and it's for the tzibur, so you can overcome the halacha and do it, even though it's tameh.
You're right.
That's such a halacha.
Yeah, so this is another question. This is a kasha. Why did B'chalal Hashem have to make a mess? They could have used Shem and Tameh. If you have the tzibur, there's no choice.
Use tameh. Yeah.
We know the halacha is a Pesach Sheni. That if minority of Klal Yisrael is Tameh, they get pushed off to do Pesach Sheni, the carbon. But a majority of Klal Yisrael is Tameh, then you do it on Pesach Rishon, you do it B'tumah. So if you have no choice, you do it B'tumah. So the Achronim say, the Yeshua and others say, Hashem made the nest to show his chavivut to Klal Yisrael. To show that even though you're right, it would have been kosher. But since you went beyond the letter of the law, and you went on Mesirat Nefesh, and put yourself in trouble to fight the Yevonim, so Hashem said, I'm going to show you that you're not going to come to a situation, b'diavad, shasat chak. No, you're going to be able to do the mitzvah, l'chatchila, mahadrin and mahadrin. And that's why we find interesting that Chanukah, we don't find that this is like the only mitzvah that everyone suddenly does things in a maholidik way, mahadrin and mahadrin, all of Klal Yisrael.
The only mitzvah, it's true.
In the Shulchan Aruch, it doesn't even say how to do it. It doesn't even say the Ikar Halacha is not brought, that Ner Ish Ubeisei. that really one candle is enough for a whole house. He does not even brought in Shulchan Aruch because everyone, the Mahadran was the minik pasha that everyone did the Mahadran. Mina Mahadran. The whole language, Lashon Mahadran, Mina Mahadran is borrowed from Chanukah. The Gemara that discusses Chanukah and Shabbos and Perek Memad Likin, that's where the whole Lashon Mahadran, that's where the source of people say for Kashrus, Mahadran, this all comes in this Gemara from Chanukah. That we light, everyone lighting in the family, every night lighting up to 8, this is Mahadran and Mahadran.
There's this Milchek supplier, it's called Mahadran. And they got it from here.
Yeah, that's where they got it from. All the Kashrus organizations writing Mahadran, this is based on this. So anyway, so there's a number of questions on this thing, Ein Soim Chalal Nes, how come, this is what the first answer the B'Siyasa gives. They divide it into 8. It means that Hashem and Nes, the quality, the eichut of the oil became stronger, and 8 was able to burn for a day, and every single night there was a Nes.
But why did they divide it to 8 the first time? The Menorah Beis HaMikdash was 7.
No, they needed it for 8 days. Because it took them 8 days to get new oil. The oil that was made in a certain place, which took 4 days to get there and 4 days to get back. So it's going to take them 8 days to get the oil. So they sent right away shluchim to go to make oil. But meanwhile, the shaila is what to do meanwhile. By the way, another shaila on this first question of Beis Yosef is, the halacha is also that you're supposed to light the whole menorah, you're supposed to fill it up entirely with oil.
You have to have enough light. You can't do it just one drop.
Over here,
so how could
you're supposed to fill up the whole thing. Even in the nights, it's chatzi loig, a half of a loig. Now, which is 2 reviusim, was enough for a whole night. Now, even the nights of Tevis, which now we're in Tevis, the nights of Tevis are very
long.
So it was meant. This shear was meant for the long nights of Tevis, but even in the short summer nights, they would also put the chatzi loig, always the same shear. It was called, the halach is tein lo kimidasa. You should always give this midah of chatzi loig, a half a loig of oil. Now over here, they lachatchil only put in the 8th. They didn't put in tein lo kimidasa. So it's another issue we have to discuss, whether this is something very vital.
Who was the Kohen Gadol then? Matityahu?
Yeah.
Matityahu was the Kohen Gadol.
He became. His father was originally the Kohen Gadol. Now,
So then again, they didn't do the code even before.
so yeah, we have to discuss if this is ma'akiv or not.
Right.
How important is it? Is it only if you need that amount of oil? That's one answer. V'oidei shloimer, another answer. Sha'acher shenos l'shem b'neiris ha'menorah kishir nisha pachmala kiratchila v'nikanas ar l'rishan. Another answer to this famous question of Yosef, why do we celebrate Chanukah for 8 days? The Chol of the Miracle is only 7 days. Another answer is that after they poured it out from the pach, the pach itself refilled, the jug refilled. So this nes was right away because you poured it in, the jug refilled itself. So already the first night you saw...
It's a nes.
That's a nes. The actual burning of the menorah that night was not a nes, because it was natural oil.
Yeah.
But the fact that it refilled itself right away, so you had a full pach. So it was niker hanes.
Didn't they light twice a day?
Nope.
In the Beis HaMikdash?
At night.
No,
No.
I think Rambam holds that they'll do it in the morning also.
And we hold Shitas of the Menorah and
It's
like the Rambam.
it's not
I think we light in the morning. We light in the evening.
Yeah, okay, then.
Only in the evening.
No, but the reason that they light in the shul is
The
because
Erev
of that-
Hadbaiker.
the second
L'chalis
time.
ner tamim Erev Hadbaiker. It's a pasuk.
The reason I'm asking that question, if that's the case, we should be lighting 16 candles.
Why?
Double candles. for
No,
the
no,
morning
it's
and
not.
for the
We only
night.
light, the menorah was only lit that night. Now, so that's the second answer. This answer is called kamut. Kamus. It was a quantity miracle, not a quality miracle, but the camels, the quantity of the oil became more.
Like the Baba Sali with the arak. The pouring is still full, the bottle. They have a stirring.
Inami, a third answer. In the Beis Yosef, Shebelel Rishin Nasnu Kol Hashem Menedes. The first night they poured all the oil in the candles. Medolku Kol Halayla, and it burned the whole night. B'boiker, in the morning, Matzu Hanedes Malayim Shem. In the morning they found the candles, the
same way they fill it up.
full again. Seemingly the third answer is really very similar to the first to the previous answer, that instead of the
judge before
the jug becoming full, in the morning the actual menorah became full.
How many people were there that saw actually the nest? That the
There's
jar is
a
full?
lot of Klal Yisrael around, all the Koyanim and only the Koyanim were there.
That's what I'm saying.
But
What
all the
if-
Koyanim, everyone was involved then. They just came to rededicate the Beit HaMikdash. It was interesting enough, the Beis Yosef gave these three answers, and they had this question, but if the Beis Yosef was from the Achrayim, one of the Rishonim already addressed this Shaila and gave three very similar answers. This Rishon, the Tosis Harash, was only published in our generation. I think the one on Shabbos was maybe published. I think it was maybe published 50 years ago. But the Tosis Harash was not available as a manuscript. Tosis Harash.
Oh.
The Rush itself, you have all the years, but the Rush had, besides for his halachas that he wrote Tosis. Tosis is not halacha. Tosis wrote on entire Gemara commentary. Like Rashi. Rashi wrote everything. Tosis wrote wherever he had a pirush. Whether it's halacha, it's not halacha. It's Agada to Gemara, it's a story, whatever it is. The Rush, when he wrote his Rush, as a Paisik, his Sefer, is only for halacha. Only deals with halacha issues. Like the Rif. The Rif and the Rush, the Rambam, it's only halacha issues. But the Tosis Harash is the Rush's version of Tosis, where he also questions on the Gemara and discussions, which not necessarily has to be halacha l'maisa. So over here in the Tosis Harash, you find similar thing. Manas and Nes, the Gemara says, "V'likim and Shmeini Yamin," the bottom of the first page. In time, if you'll ask, "Lama kavu Shmeinis Yamin," V'aloi Anes lehoyikim Shu Yamin only happened 7 days. Ki hoyibei Shia Laila Echad was enough for one night of oil. Yishloimer, he also gives the three answers, but there's a little bit changes over here. Shechilkos pach l'shmeina. First answer, like in the Beis Yosef, was they lechatchila divided the oil into 8 parts. They only put an eighth in for every night. V'afal gav, and he asked this kasha that we spoke outside before. The Gemara says that you have to fill up the menorah fully to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So how could you only put an eighth? Or it should be able to light a whole night. That's if you could. It's only a din l'chatchila. It's not b'diavad, you're not yoitza. So they only put in an eighth.
Maybe it was another nest, they put 1/8. When they put it in, it filled up by himself. Can be.
It's another way, yeah? Inami nasnu b'layla rishoin kula b'soich hamneda. Another oifen is, this way was not mentioned in the Beis Yosef. So right now we have a fourth answer, this one over here. They poured entire oil the first night into the menorah. So therefore they tried to do what they could. They were not over on Taimla Kamidah, so they put the whole oil in. However, the oil did not burn, the entire oil did not burn that night, only an eighth of it burned down. So they saw there was a nest every day. They poured everything in, but every day it only went down an eighth. So that's already, now we have a fourth answer, because we didn't hear this before in the Beis Yosef. Inami la'acha shehiriku Hashem min hapach b'layla yishayna nisha hakli moli v'nikah nes b'layla yishayna. This one the Beis Yosef also said, the last one, that after they poured out the oil from the jug stayed full, and you saw right away that the jug is still full. So, even the first night, you saw the nest. Meaning, again, The oil burned that night naturally, from natural oil, the original natural oil. But the jug refilled itself already the first night, so they saw, so the nest happened. Now, mice already the next, all the other further nights, they were using the oil that was the chnes. So,
In other words, they didn't need to fill up again.
yeah.
Fill one, and that's it. It's full.
Well, this is, no, the jug.
The
No,
jug.
The jug itself kept on replenishing itself. Or never, not maybe never replenished, but never became empty.
Right.
Now, so Lamaisa in general, it's two answers, which is Eichos and Kamos, whether the nest was in a quantitative form, that there was more oil, or it was quality. By the Bechlal, there's a whole discussion in Halacha, you're allowed to use something that was created by a miracle for Halacha. So the shemen over here, if the oil is not natural oil, do you really need to have, Torah says shemen zayis. Torah says olive oil. This is olive oil? It's not from an olive.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It's not from so maybe it's enough just to have the qualities of olive oil. The Torah want dafke shiitake come from an olive tree, or that no, that's just telling us what's the best oil. If I can get it some other way, I can create something that's exactly the same as olive oil, just not really physically from the olive tree. So what does it make a difference? So that's a question of the shemen nisi. Is a problem to use for, there's a story that the Alter Rebbe, when he was, story about Yitzhak Kissa, when he was taken for, one in the middle of the night, he was taken to interrogation, so they took him from the cell and took him on a boat to the place, so like over the river where he was going to be interrogated. So Lamaisa on the way, he saw that he wanted to make Kiddush Levana. He had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So he told the person to stop the boat. So he didn't want to stop. He listened to the prisoner. So he told him that, so the boat stopped. So then, Alter Rebbe, so he saw the Alter Rebbe can make the boat stop. Anyway, so then he said to the Alter Rebbe, then the Alter Rebbe let the boat go further. And then he said, the Alter Rebbe asked him if he could stop the boat again. So he said he's going to stop it if the Alter Rebbe will give him a bracha. And he wants it in writing. So he gave the Alter Rebbe something to write. The Alter Rebbe wrote on him a bracha. And the story how the Chassidim actually saw this later on, and the son of this person, he was very proud of it. He hung up on a wall this picture, the Ksav Yad Kodesh of the Alter Rebbe, and then they were able to see that he gave his bracha. Anyways, Lamaisa, the Alter Rebbe, the Shaila is, the Fidik Rebbe says, why did he, if the Alter Rebbe could stop the boat himself, why did he have to ask the captain to stop it, and he stopped it, and then then it went further? He said because a mitzvah is supposed to be done in a natural way,
not direct ness.
not through a ness. So he wanted the captain on his own should stop it. Mm-hmm. He stopped it, so it's coming through a ness. Try to do a mitzvah in a natural way.
Why do you have to stop the boat in the first place? You can say the bracha.
I'm not sure. It could be it was in a way he wouldn't see the Levana. I'm not sure. It's a good question. But the Maisa, maybe it was racking a lot. He wanted to stand. Maybe I don't know. So there's an inyan of doing something. So over here, that's a discussion. A lot of the players can discuss the gabi, the inyan of using something with a ness. The Taz is a very interesting answer. He has his own answer to this question. Simen Tafresh Ayin Chesi Chanukah. The Torah brings Lashana Cheres Kavaum Ches Yom Tov, 8 days of Yom Tov. Hiksha B'Siyos asked, Lama Kavu Ches Yomim? Kiven Shebeshemesh Shepachor Viktil Hadik Lala Echad Nimsa Shonasa Nesel Zayin Yomim. V'Tiritz Gimel Teirutz Ayin Sham. Looking at B'Siyos gives 3 answers. Va'akulam kasha, all these answers, it's questionable. She'in lano remez mizeshan asakin. There is no hint that this is what happened. V'mkein hoyel Rabbi Seinu lahaskir davazeh, kishnei dahanes masha nasa b'larishon. Our Rebbe Chazal should have told us something about how the nest happened. What happened the first night?
The Hashmonaim did not tell the people that were there how this happened, and they said the other people, and they said the other people. That's the way it worked out.
Right?
So
So,
why would they know?
there was a lot of Baal Peh things. It should have been recorded in Chazal, because how would we have it all the way back?
How Chazal know it? Through the people that were there, and they told.
Okay, but
That
Chazal didn't, for
created-
some reason, didn't record it, so we don't. It didn't carry down. That's why you have over 100 answers to this question.
Shivim panim laTorah.
So the Taz gives his own answer. I'm not sure how it answers his question, but he has his own answer. He has a very interesting answer. He says that the story of Elisha, we read it not long ago in Haftarah Parshas Vayera. So we read in Parshas Vayera, the Malachim said that you're going to have a child at Chevekes Ben, told Sarah. So Haftarah, we read about the story of Elisha. First, we read about how the lady who
Isha Shunamit.
Isha Shunamis, and
Medaliyat Hagag.
she had a no, actually there was another lady. There was a lady, the wife of Avadia, the Navi, and she had 2 sons, and she had a lot of debts. Her husband was Nifter, and he was a Talmud of Elisha, and he had a lot of debts that he left over, and the creditors were saying, "We're going to come and take away your children if you don't pay us up." So she went to the caver of she went to Elisha, and Elisha said to her, "What do you have in your house?" She said, "I only have 1 jug of oil." So he told her to go borrow all the pots and pans you could and the jugs, close the door behind you and your children, and pour it. And when it was finished, that's it. And then when he finished, she came and told him, we did it. And so he said, "Now go and sell it. And you could pay up. Not only that, so you and your children will live off the extra oil." So the Zohar, the Taz brings, the Zohar says, why did he ask her, "Ma yesh l'chi b'bayis"? What do you have? What was the negaya for Elisha? He can make a miracle and that's it.
I don't want to make direct miracle.
So Elisha wanted that there should be, the bracha should have a connection to the teva.
A kli, something.
Something should, the bracha is only shayra, the Zohar says, on something which is there already. So since there is some oil there, so the oil could become more. To make oil come something for nothing, yesh me'ayin, that's not bracha. That's not a bracha. The bracha is that you have something, you don't have a lot, you have some money, you don't have a lot of money, you have a bracha to have more money. What does bracha mean? You should have more. If you don't have it at all, it's not bracha. That's creation. That's bria. That's not bracha. The first of the narrow lines. I think the answer is the mafreya on royim. Retroactively, we see shagam b'layla rishon hoya nes. Even the first night was a nest. The Metzina b'seif Hazayel pasuk ma yesh l'chi b'boyis she'ein hu yizbarach ois a nest litin bracha l'mesh yesh kvar ba'olam hafilu davar muat. Even it's something little. Oz hu yizbarach noisim bracha laharbe sama'at. Hashem gives a bracha to make it plenty. Mashenkim davarekim when it's empty. In shaykh by bracha last is beri chadasha. It's not shaykh to make a bracha to create something from new. Okay, nicha kan over here it's good, makes sense. The ilu nidla kom hashay b'layla rishen lehamakul l'neis loch al shem davar. If the first night all of it would have been burnt out, then there wouldn't have been anything left over for the bracha. So the first night, the levadi the gam b'layla rishen nishtayim mashahoy roila. For sure, even the first night, it was left over. What was roi for it enough? So the first night, a little bit was left over for the next night. So the first night, how did it burn a whole night? If it left over. So already it was a nest the first night. And came the inu shagam b'layla rishanan anas. He means that in the beginning of the night he didn't know it was a nest. Beginning of the night he didn't see anything abnormal.
The next day when you say extra.
In the morning they saw there was extra, so there was some left over. Oh, so we know there was a nest because why was it left over?
So it could be any answer really according to the Taz. Because the Taz is as long as there's some little something to be sure of the bracha.
Yeah.
He's saying the nace is the fact that there was something to
You have to feel up, in other words.
Yeah.
The Emes says, by the way, the story of Elisha and the lady, she had a physical
God.
kad. There was nothing miraculous about it. We hear the old way how they even had this remainder was through a nes.
To find the card itself, that's already nice.
The way the whole thing was set up, the nes was in a way that it meaning the nes l'chatchila was able to happen because there is something there. There was taka b'teva. There was a pachshel shemen. And then in order for the nes to continue, in order that it should be this type of bracha, so it stayed a little bit every night over.
I thought about it. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw the sneh, he had a similar question. I see the sneh burning, but I don't see the oil burning. The
bush.
The bush is not burning.
The sneh
Similar
never
what we
occurred.
see over here. I see
discuss
the
it
oil
with
is
Shem-
burning, but at the same time the oil stay full.
We'll see what Shem soon, this answer. Lamaisa, I want to say one thing. What's pshat in the Taz? The Taz is very bothered. All the three terutzim of the Beis Yosef, he says, doesn't say clearly in Chazal. Chazal should have explained to us. He has his answer. Why shouldn't Chazal have said this clearly? They didn't say this either clearly. Maybe pshat's like this, that the Taz is not, Taz is saying like this. The Beis Yosef, all his answers are saying that something, in what they did, something miraculous happened. Either l'chatchila only put in an eighth. So they should have told us that l'chatchila only put an eighth. That's a very big thing. The l'chatchila only put an eighth. Or to say that the jug refilled itself right away. It's also something that, like, it happened in their hands, like while they were. The other answers are more difficult to understand. The answer where it says the last one is that the keli became full of oil. I'm not sure exactly, but some of them you can maybe explain why he wasn't happy with it. Lamaisa, his pshat is that they did everything they could, they put everything in. And they didn't know there was going to be a nes. And in the morning they came and they realized there was a nes. So it was only the mafreya they realized. Yeah, so the pre-Chodosh, Chodosh was from the very big Spadish Aposkim in Shulchan Aruch. And he discusses them all, and he also the issues with each answer of the Beis Yosef, and then he gives his own answer. The two dots in the first line. People ask over here, Lama kavu ches yamin. Even the shemen shebapach hoybe kidil halak lailachis. There was enough for one night. Nimsa shalei nasa hanesel v'zayin leilis. They teach them the answer bazeh shechilku shemen shebapach ches chalakim. They divide into an eighth. V'cholayla yinoisim shminis hashemen v'dei lekata boiker. They put in an eighth every night. Nimsa shecholayla nasanes. That's one answer. Ve'inem echuver. It's not a good answer, he says. So I'm reading Perak, Lamed Likin in Perak Hamad Yuma, Me'erevat Baiker Tein Laka Midasa. They lekas or lechas kalam Me'erevat Baiker. Mekimaro Luchalke Lechas Chalakim. Like we said earlier, which the Tosfos Harash already brought up, that a problem with this answer, that the halacha is that you're supposed to put the full amount. So why would they lechatchil not put the full amount? Ma'ro Luchalke Lechas Chalakim. The Emes of the Tosfos Harash himself answered on this question that it's not ma'akiv. But maybe the Chodesh is asking a little differently. He didn't see the Tosfos Harash. I told you they didn't see, the earlier person didn't see this Rishi. But ma'ro l'chalke means l'chora. Why did he even think to do it? You have to put the thing fully in. So why would you even think to not do it that way? That's l'chora what he's asking. Meaning they had a halacha to do it this way. You know, Meilef there's no halacha. You could say they have to have a cheshbon. At least we can't burn it a whole night. Better to do an eighth every night, so at least we do some hadlaka, to do one night of full mitzvah. What's better? To get one night the mitzvah, or every night we get an eighth, so what happens we have every day. Otherwise, the 7 days is nothing. So they could have made a cheshbon. So the Pichadash, there's a halacha, tein lakimidasa. You have to put it in, so there's no choice about it. It's not pshat you can make the cheshbon. You have to put it in. You can't make such a calculation. Or Oited, so another pshat that the mataritz to this question, that the jug remained full. It's already the first night you saw the jug refilled itself. This pshat also it doesn't like. What happened the last night? You just reverted the question from the first night to the last night. The last night, the jug emptied out. You filled it all up. It's not going to refill itself. No need to refill itself. You have enough oil last night. So the question went back to the night. What was the miracle of the last night? So either way, you have a problem. There's only 7 days. If you say that the jog taka inachanami did not refill itself the first night, you filled it up, poured it in the first night, the jug remained empty. Came the second night, they suddenly see the jug, the empty jug, suddenly filled itself. It means the first night there wasn't a ness. The last night will be a ness because we'll say at night suddenly the oil filled up. So the last night there was a ness, but the first night there was no ness. So what? It's not going to help by pushing off to the second night.
Also, you could ask, when the oil fill up by itself, you can't use oil that is a ness. You need to use oil that is oil, not that happened by a ness.
That's a question in general from all the answers here. All the answers have this problem. If you hold this a shayla. Oitis v'vis Yosef. Another answer. We hear the second paragraph in the Pri Chodesh. Oitis v'vis Yosef shevalolech nosnu kol Hashem benedis. They poured all the oil in. V'doku kol alayla. They burned the whole night. In the morning, matzah neis maleim shemen. The candles were the neiros were full again of oil. So we're just switching it. The jug didn't refill itself, but it refilled itself on the menorah itself. The same problem we have. The last night there was no ness because it didn't need to refill itself in the morning, right? So there was no ness. According to their mahalach of how they're explaining things, I can give you my own pshat. You could say a different pshat. I mean, it's not going to be my real pshat. But based on where I see all of these answers are going, I would say my own twist. Later I'm going to really say my own pshat that I hold is the real pshat. But Lefi what I see, Lefi divrei, and I see where they're going, I'll say my own twist. You could taina, they started to pour the oil in. As they started to pour oil in, suddenly it filled all the way up. So they didn't need to pour in the rest. So they right away saw the ness, right away the first night. And every night they poured in a little bit, and more of it filled up. Like a little bit similar to the Taz that's happened.
No, but this one you could say even the first night you saw the miracle.
Yeah, they saw right away. Because how did it fill up? So every night they poured a little bit in, all the 8 nights, and it filled up the rest. Inami, another answer, Shanish Shavchu Kasha Shavchu Kol Hashem and Sheminoida. They poured it all in. And an eighth of it burned every night. Which, this by the way was something that Toys Rosh said. Pri Chodesh alone says it on by himself, but the Toys Rosh had said this answer. But Maisa, so he said this will deal with the Shah. The first night they put all the oil in. So they were not over on the concept of Tein Lo Kimidasa, give it its measurement to the Menorah. They filled it up completely. And every night it burned down an eighth. So every night you saw the ness, every night, all the 8 days you saw the ness. Every night only burnt an eighth. And they weren't over on Tein Lo Kimidasa, that they did whatever they could the first night. So it's another answer that he could give. So the Maisa altogether now we have 7 answers. We have 3 answers by Yosef. Toysas Arash offered another one of the answers, he answered 3 answers, 2 of them were the same as Bis Yosef. And there was a third answer he gave was a new one, which is a fourth answer. The B'chadash himself is giving another 2 Eifanim you can learn. 6. We have the Taz answer with 7 answers. However, he says, B'chlal, Ella, rather, 3 lines from the bottom and middle, B'chadash says, Ella she'ein tzar l'chol zeh. We don't need to come on to all these terutzim. I don't like B'chlal's whole mahalach everyone is taking. And the answer is a solid answer. She'ein tzvara she'ikru zayin yam michaf of Kislev Eilach. There's no svara they should start the whole Chanukah from Chaf of Kislev. Only for the second day. What happened to the first day? First day of Chanukah, nothing happened. They won the war. Winning the war in Nitzachon HaMelchama is a tremendous ness. Rabbi Miyad Ma'atim. To win fewer of the many is a tremendous ness. That guva you have to choygig. You can't just be choygig the ness of the Shem, and that's true. That's a ness for itself. But Chanukah has a lot of parts to it. You have to do everything. So you can't forget about what happened to Chaf Hei Kislev. It says Chaf Hei Kislev has nothing to do with the Menorah. Chaf Hei Kislev is Chanukah mitzad one reason. Mitzad we won the war. The rest of the 7 days is mitzad the ness of the Menorah. In the Chanami the ness is only 7 days. Pashtastik, he says, very pashtastik. He says, Ve'ikr yoyim anitzochin shenochem eveim, the ikr day that they rested from their enemies. Shechaf Hei Kislev shelo yikbu l'doiris. You're not going to convey that for the future generations. Velulei nes shel shemen yikayim l'deis yom echad yontiv halal heidah. It's for sure, says the Pichadash, that if there would not have been a nes and with the oil, there would have at least been one day yontiv halal heidah, like every nes. Purim you have a day, Chanukah will be a day. Shvil nes pach shel shemen kavu ches yom l'doiris. V'doik can be medayik that what I'm saying is the right pshat. That's the Pichadash pshat. We have an 8th teretz.
$92 more to go.
So, Lamaisa, there's many terutzim. I just want to bring out another pshat and how the nest happened. Before we go on to the final tenets, but let's just take a look at this Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos says, Daf Chaf Aleph. Just want to read the Gemara. The Chaf Aleph from a base, my Chanukah. The Gemara asks, what is Chanukah? Tanu Rabbanan b'Chaf Hei b'Kislev Yom the Chanukah T'payin, and there are 8 days. The Lein Mitzvah b'Hoyin, in allowed to make hesped in these days. No eulogies, v'leis anas being allowed to fast. Why? Shenishnu Yivanam leheichol timu kol hashmanu shebeheichol. They impure all the oil. Shagav Malchus Beis Chashmanoy v'Nitzchum, and they won Batku. They are beidik v'lein matzal apach echad shel shemen sheimunu v'chisama shekan gadol. V'lhoi be'el hadlik yom echad v'nasi ben es v'diku ben hashmeinas yom. And it lit for 8 days. Shana Cheres, the next year, Kavom, they were Keveyit, Vasom, and they made it Yom Tovim, as days of Yom Tovim, Bahalal, V'Hoidah. The Gemara in Chav Gimel with Aleph says that Agav in the Al Hanissim, we don't find any mention of the Ness of the Neris. The Al Hanissim, we say everything down, and we talk all about Tadam bi Ma'atim, Tzmei Miyat Tohirim, Zaydi Miyat Tzadikim, Shoy Miyat Tzadikim, Zaydi Miyat Kisar Secha, was a big Netzach, and Acha Bal Vanechel Dervi Secha. It says, V'hidliku Neiris B'chatz Kodshecha. So, you could learn that meant the Menorah. Others say that, no, it doesn't mean the Menorah. Hidliku Neiris B'chatz Kodshecha, you don't light the Menorah in the Chotzer, in the courtyard, you have to light the Menorah in the Heichel. So, others trying to know. Chatz and Kodshecha is not referring to the menorah; it's referring that they lit candles. It was a very happy time. They lit up the whole heichel, the whole chotzer, the Beis Hamikdash, and they were celebrating. So l'maisa, we didn't really find, even if we say this mentions it, but it's very little. It's all talking about the Mechama. Someone asked me, he said, why don't we say anything about the Ness of the Neris and the Al Hanissim every day with davening and benching? So the Rebbe has a very geschmack pshat. The Rebbe says that there's 2 very important miracles that happened. There was an Nitzachon HaMelchama, winning the war, and then there was this Ness which happened with the Neir. Chazal didn't want them to be mentioned one next to the other because it would de-emphasize one or the other. So each one they separate in two separate times. Ala Nisim, we're going to thank Hashem, Halo Vayda, on the Nitzachim Milchama. During lighting the menorah, we light for the Nes of Shemin, the Nes of the Shemin, and we say out of the Tefillah, Hanedus Halalo Kaideshem. We talk all about the miracle what happened with the Nes of the Shemin. We don't mention the Milchama. Each one for itself. Putting them together would bring out that one of them is sort of like an ikr, and the other one is a tafel, a secondary. To bring out that they're each miracles that we have to give halavahida, they're two separate times in two separate places. And his Lamaisa, the Gemara says like this: how many brachas do you have to make? Amar Rav Chia bar Ashi Amarav Amadlik Ner Shel Chanukah Tzorach Levarach needs to make a bracha. Rav Yirmiyah Amar Rei Ner Shel Chanukah Levarach. Someone who even not only you light a menorah, if you just see candles of a menorah, Tzorach Levarach you have to make a bracha. Amar Rav Yehuda Yom Rishon Harayim Mevarach Beis. The first day, someone who sees the candles makes two. Or Madlik Mevarach Gimel. But someone who lights them actually makes three brachas. This from after the first night of Chanukah, the rest of the nights of Chanukah, the Madlik one who actually lights a menorah Mevarach Shtayim says makes two brachas. But someone who sees Mevarach Achas makes one bracha. So the question is, the Gemara asks, what are we coming to exclude over here? What brachas, which bracha do we not say the second night and on? The Gemara says, man, it's coming to exclude Shechiyanu. You only make Shechiyanu the first night. So the first night, the Madlik has three brachas. Adek Ner Chanukah, and Shasanisim and Shechiyanu. The Raya, it's not to say a Shekichanu says when he sees it. He just says Shasanisim. He's not lighting it. Shasanisim Shechiyanu. The second night, we drop the Shechiyanu. So it's two brachas for the Madlik, and for the Raya, only one bracha. The Gemara asks for Nimet Nes. How come we don't say maybe we shouldn't say Sha'asa Nisim every day? Only the first day Sha'asa Nisim. It says Nes Kol Yom Isa. Nes was every day. Which Nes was every day? Rashi says over here, Kol Yom Isa She Kol Shemayin Edlikim Min Apach. All 8 they lit from the jug. Avol but Shechiyanu. Once you came to the first day, you already arrived at the Yom. You only make Shechiyanu in the beginning. From Rashi, it seems the way he interprets the Gemara, that the Nes every single day was not like the Pri Chadash said, that the first was because of Netzachah Muchama, and the rest was because of the Pacha Shemen, that all 8 was because of the Nes and the Pacha Shemen. Pri Chadash has his Mahalach, but you see from Rashi, it doesn't seem that way. To leave off for the Teretz, that the Rebbe offered the Teretz, on this issue about the Nes, but I want to just remark the one thing. The Rebbe is not coming to discuss the Shiloh of Beis Yosef about what happened the 8th day. Why was there 8 days? Ishpash is coming to discuss how the miracle happened. Was it Bekamos? Was it quantitatively, or qualitative miracle? Be'echos. But it's not coming to deal with the Shiloh of Beis Yosef, what happened, why is it 8 and not 7? How did the miracle happen? What type of miracle was it? And the Rebbe offers a different mahalach. He is mainly coming from the discussion that of the other shilas that there are. What about if you say that the quality, the quantity of the shemen was more, so it means you're lighting with shemen shel nes, which is shaila. You're supposed to light shemen zayis, not a shemen shel nes. So you have answers, but it's not the best way. On the other hand, the other ones have issues of tein lo kimidasa. You're not having a full. Even if you put the full night of Pri Chadash and the Tosei Rosh or for the Pshat, you can put the first night all of it in, and then when I bring the 8th, comes out the rest of the nights you work yoy to tein lo kimidasa. So in the ending of the day, wherever you go, something you're missing about what happened over here. It's not fully Nes. And the Rebbe feels that if Hashem made a Nes, in order we should be able to mekayim the mitzvah behidr, because really, pi halacha, you could have used Shem and Tamei. Hashem made a Nes, we should be able to keep the miracle proper, the mitzvah properly. We shouldn't feel that the Chashmonoim, the Yidden shouldn't feel we went all the way this far, and now we're let down, we have to do things with Tamei. No, Hashem says, I'm gonna show you a Nes. You're going to be able to do it properly. So it was probably the Nes happened in the best way possible. Why should we say the Nes happened in a way that the mitzvah still was not able to be done 100%? If Hashem's already going there making us a Nes, you can already do the whole thing. It should be the best way possible without any shaylas. We don't have to make a pilpul to explain how it worked and have hundreds of answers, how punked it worked out, and each one has issues with it from a halachic standpoint. But the Yevil, Chatchila, the Hidr. So the Rebbe says in Sif Dalet over here, page 185, in the left column, Ois Dalet. After this, we'll go to Ma'ariv. So he says a pshat like this: Shleimer adritten oifen es Chanukah. Shleimer, we could say a third way how the Nes happened. The Velchem, Zainita, the Kushis and Boris, we don't have the above questions. Was loitem oifen that man oif gerecht werden an Nes Chanukah is ben a chiddush. Was the Metzinu v'keduvasei. The Chal, the Rebbe says, if you learn the Nes happened, let's say, added oil, Elisha, it happened also by Elisha. Something special about Chanukah, that it was only happened Chanukah, it didn't happen any other time. Wie gebracht vier from Bis Yosef, the Nes Chanukah loit ein Svarah bastan in dem, was Nassel kol Shem Menedis, Boiker Matzel kol Neis Malaysia. The last third answer to Bis Yosef is typically understood a certain way. The Rebbe here offers a novel interpretation in the last answer of the Bis Yosef. Bis Yosef says, third answer is, they poured in all the oil in the night, and in the morning they came and they saw that the oil was full. The neighbors were full. So typically how that's understood is that the oil went down, and then the oil refilled itself. This is no, a new pshat. V'yishloimer, as the pirush in them is, niet as a shemet ois gebrennt. Not pshat the shemet burnt out. Under nach and afterwards, how of the natives wieder angefüllt mit shemet derech nes, refilled itself with in a miraculous way. No, it's a shemet gebrennt. The shemet burned at night. Burned. Und zusammen der Miet ist von gar nicht nechzer geworden. And still in all, nothing went down. Die Chazal sagen, be'eshal maila serefes ve'ene cheles. Regarding the sneh, it says, Moshe Rabbeinu said, Asura nova eres amar hazeh. He wanted to go closer to the sneh to see this. What was very unique about the sneh? The sneh was burning. The sneh boyer, inenu uko. However, it wasn't being burned up. It was a fire, but fire eats up the oil, the wax, the wood. Over here, the branches, nothing wasn't being burned up. So it's Chazal say Eish Shel Maila, Eish from Shemayim is different. Eish Shemayim doesn't operate like Eish Shel Mata. Fire, human fire, it needs to be mechala. It has to eat up. The Eish Shel Maila, like by the sneh, Seirefes, it could burn. The Einei Cheles, it does not eat up the wood.
And that's what happened with the Shemen.
So what happened over here? Something similar.
Who's to say that the Shem that the pot that they found didn't come from L'mayla L'chatchila?
It was Beteva, but afterwards.
Hashem could have made that too. From all the things, they could only find one.
No, there's a stem from the Kohen Gadol.
I understand. So the
So L'chatchila why it was in that way.
He could, Hashem could have made that as well, based on what the Rebbe Shita is.
He want Dafka should be a nature, a Bach and a Shemen base.
At the time of the Hester, there was Hester. Time of the Hester, the Yevanim were able to do what they did. Later came the Zman of the Chavivas Yisrael, when they saw what Klal Yisrael was doing.
The sneh, it was.
Lamaisa, what the Rebbe learns over here is very hard to understand in a physical way, but the Rebbe basically says that Pshat and B'Sioyis said in the morning, they poured all day, in the morning they came and saw it was full. Not Pshat that it went down. It never went down.
Stay full.
The fire stayed there. The oil stayed there the whole time full.
Right.
I mean, the whole 8 days, the natives were full. A new pshat in learning it in the Beis Yosef didn't go down and refill itself. It never went down. But by the way, I want to clarify this: not pshat that the oil, the candle, the oil sat there and it was just like a fire sitting on top. The Rebbe explains that then that we have an issue over here. Then it's not
nice.
eating
It's
from
not
the Shem and Zayis.
Right.
It has to be fire based on oil, not just a fire in the air. and it just happens to look good. It's sitting on top of oil, but the oil is not burning. So the Rebbe learns, no, it was burning, and it was using the oil. At the same time, the oil wasn't being used up. You have an opposite happening. It's in Rishonim there's a discussion when we talk about the koiches of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's something called, if there's something impossible. Let's say, could someone be riding and not riding at the same time? It's not possible. Could Hashem make someone ride and not ride? Reichev and reichev?
Yes.
Or can He make a circle and a square fit into each other, and they still remain a circle and a square? It's something that's not possible. When someone wants to envision, you can envision something flying. You can envision certain things happening, but you can't envision an opposite like that. That's called Certainly, Shainim held that the Eibishter Zichra has a koyach in the nice, even though we don't understand it, but it's possible. Just like 2 + 2 by us is 4. That's because Hashem created the Seichel in such a way that we think this way. Seichel itself, logic itself, doesn't precede Hashem. Hashem is not bound by these rules of logic that He Himself created. He created it 5,779 years ago, 8 years ago and a bit. He created this Seichel, or maybe Alpayim Shana Kodma. The seichels, but the concept of seichel logic, the rules of logic are created. Over here we have a nest that is totally illogical. That on one hand the fire was being burned, on the other hand the oil remained. It's not something you can envision and picture. But the Rebbe says if you learn this way, it's the best way. There's no shilas that this is the way it happened. The only shilah that happens to this is what happened the last day.
But you don't understand it, you can ask any questions.
Once you say you don't understand. It's, by the way, very similar to Mokim Aron Imida. We say that in the Beis HaMikdash. The Chazal say that the Aron didn't take up any place. On the other hand, the Aron did take up place. The Aron had to be physically have certain measurements to it. The Torah says, gives us the measurements. If you don't do them, if you don't keep to the measurements of the Torah, the Aron has no kedusha. It's not an Aron b'chlal. So the Aron has to have measurements. And the Aron had measurements. It said they would be able to measure the Aron itself. They would measure it in the Kodesh HaKadoshim and had measurements. They still will measure from one wall to the wall of the Aron into the other, and it still was Es from Amis. There was Eser from Eser. How could it be? It's mamash a stira. It's a stira. It's not pshat. We're trying. Usually a nes means mavatal teva. We cancel nature. There's no nature. There's a nes. What happens if we remain with teva and we say that there'll be a nes and teva together? It's something which.